everyone. So, I guess I want to be really clear about something, and that is there's this debate that's been going on because everyone's got some issue with each other, and they don't feel comfortable enough or confident enough in their own media platform that they have to then tear down other ones. Let's be clear. There is a thing going on within the online left debating the importance of essayists versus debate bros. Now, I'm going to expand that because I think me and Zena already hate this dichotomy.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's not just debate bros, it's streamers. You're talking about streamers. Streamers versus essayists. If you want to say debate bros, then just say Destiny and get it over with. Or Vaush if you mean Vaush. Because that seems to be a thing. In the words of William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, all are punished. I think this is the dumbest topic. It does sound like a bad epic rap battle history, Ruth. I agree.
That's super true.
So here's the understanding. Since Vaush had his debate with Professor Flowers, there's been this debate going on where a number of people created a hug circle around Professor Flowers, supporting her, even though I don't think they understood her arguments. And because of this, it has sparked this discussion into the importance of essayists and the work that they do versus streamers and the work that they do. Now, with the essayists, the issue is that there seems to be a discussion about, well, streamers can give out misinformation, and really all they want us to do is get dunks on and try to actually have debates, and it's essentially a way to be reductive when some of these debates are very useful. There's a number of people who said that certain debates have been the thing that brought them over from the right or from from being moderates. There are real benefits to seeing somebody advocate for their positions in a particular way. That may not work on everybody, but it might work on some people. On the other hand, the streamer or debate bro side is frustrated with essayists because essayists undervalue the importance of streaming. We don't have a script. We don't get to edit that script or edit the video that much. We get to do cute little edits at we hand it over to Joshua, but we don't really get to do anything beyond that. We can't go and do multiple takes. So, especially if we don't want to be here till fucking midnight.
Right, yeah.
So the issue is that these are two different approaches that have value, but the online left is so struggling with this idea of an inferiority complex that it has to, I would guess out of a sense of stolen valor, has to tear down the other one for the sake of valuing the first. And I don't understand this logic because they're different types of things. I think debates are useful because they improve rhetoric. Zena has seen a massive improvement in my ability to argue, sometimes to their chagrin as far as our relation.
I've learned a lot too.
Yeah, Zena's gotten pretty good at this too. So this is the thing is you learn how to do that stuff on the fly and how to be faster. Essayists, again, like someone just said in chat, Rat King Socks, it is more about reading a good book. It's about picking up data. The problem with an essayist is even if they're wrong, their stuff can be presented in a way that looks really good. This is the problem with some of the modern essayists that are coming out, because sometimes the stuff they put out isn't great. Professor Flowers, technically an essayist. Does she do great work? Not really. The problem is that in a lot of cases, there needs to be a willingness to accept both of these as effective ways of engaging. Streaming isn't going anywhere. There's an entire platform for that. It's called Twitch. Not to mention Facebook is now allowing streaming. YouTube, there's got to be at least others. And so we get into this problem where people don't really want to acknowledge the fact that both of these have value. Now, the reason I'm upset about this, and Zena can go into it as well, but the reason I'm upset about this is because this is tremendously stupid
Yep.
This whole dichotomy, this whole discussion is nonsensical. I transitioned because of an essayist. The person that got me to rethink transness and allow myself to be this was ContraPoints. Does that mean I don't have critiques? No, I have a few. But the fact of the matter is, an essayist is what got me to transition. Do you know what got me through fucking 2020 and 2019 when we were dealing with the possibility of another 4 years of Trump? It was Vaush.
Yep. Oh no, same here. Right? Having somebody else being able to go through that political content, distill it down with a bit more jokes, a bit more, community feel, and it's a lot less lonely when, a streamer's reading an article than it is to be doing it on your own and sitting with that dread on your own.
Yeah, how many people have had their egg cracked by, like Kira said in chat, Jesse Gender or ContraPoints or Cat Black or Samantha Lux? I mean, the thing is that each of these have these values. Demon Mama, how many people have been brought out of their egg by Demon Mama?
Well, and at some
you
point,
too can be a butch lesbian.
this stuff ends up distilling it down, distilling the actual issues and the nuance and the actual arguments and work that people do into like genres. Like, that's where we're going. Like, is this a war between sci-fi and fantasy? Like, which one's better? Like, anyone that knows those genres knows that those are absolutely intertwined, and there's not that big of a difference. Okay, there really isn't. But yet we see people try and make this claim about it, right? And I guarantee you, if I get a definition of essayist, well, that's a little wibbly wobbly. Okay, same thing with like debate bros or streamers. There's a lot of us that do this in a variety of ways, right?
Like, here's the thing, real quick. There's people in chat saying that we erased Philosophy Tube. She is from the UK. I'm sorry, I am bigoted to the UK.
What?
As far as I love Philosophy Tube. She's great. I just don't watch her stuff that often these days. Samantha Lux is cool. Also, don't watch her stuff a lot. Mia Mulder's fantastic. Just saying.
Oh, so I'm the reason somebody started a transition. Oh, Gene.
Oh,
Gene K. Oh, that's so. Aw.
based.
Yeah.
That's true. Abigail came out recently.
Going good. Well, that is right. One of the benefits that I think is really cool is that we can actually like share parts of our stories that we couldn't otherwise share, right? No, don't be mean.
We will not accept any kind of monkey loving in our chat. You do not stand King Kong in this chat. I will mute you. That is ban worthy. I don't care. Moving on. So here's the issue. There is a tremendous amount of really good trans creators out there. And the fact of the matter is that like a lot of these people do very real content that kind of goes in the middle ground. Like, yeah, Contra is like clearly an essayist, but like Samantha Lux's is reaction content. It's just taped beforehand, so it falls in a weird middle. Like, hell, even Cat Black has gone to streaming. Like,
well, the other person I think that comes to mind is Dr. Z. She's got I think it's like Dr. Z PhD, but she is a very high degree in mental psychology or something. Anyways, she works with trans people and puts out 10 or 15-minute videos on various topics, and that's one of those things that I like. Jess and I could do that if we wanted to. It's, we could very well have just as easily gone down that route instead of just streaming to you all, once a week, right? And so it's like, well, what's the difference here? There isn't really that big of a difference. All right,
Jocelyn, get a team together, and raids aren't a problem. You just got to prepare. It helps that I have a Zena. So, like, here's the thing, though. And Jammy Dodger is great, too. Guys, we don't need to bring up every single frickin' one. But notice that, though. Contra is doing video game streams. Cat Black's been doing streams. Jesse Gender does a weekly Saturday stream. There is a regular way in which there's a regular way in which even people who are known essayists have switched some of the things they're doing.
and to be clear, as far as an audience, right? I watch a variety of people who only watches streamers here. I doubt that there's a single person in our audience who could say, I only watch streamers or I only watch video essayists, right?
Now,
there's so much overlap.
Yeah, there's a huge amount of overlap here. And here's the other reason why this is nonsense. The reason that this got pushed so far into the actual discussion is because of Noah Samson, who just recently took down his video because it was garbage. And FD Signifier, who admitted on Shark's stream that maybe that one went too far. Because it did. FD Signifier, yeah, I believe it got unlisted. This was talked about on Twitter today. The simple fact of the matter is, these people that keep taking shots at debate streamers, I think this is a really bad idea. Because not only is this weird, like, East-West rap divide thing that they're trying to do here really stupid, but the additional problem is that what it's doing is essentially pushing for what I can only describe as it's feeling like it's trying to cut apart audiences. Like,
yeah. Well, I would say cut apart audiences and push for this weird version of like expertise. Like somehow because you prepared everything ahead of time, you might have more expertise or more that stuff when really, like, you know, we pull up research data all the time just on stream, right?
Like, I'll give you a really good example. I want you to go listen to the first ContraPoints and Vaush discussion. ContraPoints is one of the most eloquent and intelligent women on the internet. She does great work. And guess what? Hate to say it. Contra with prepared content is wonderful. Contra having a discussion is weird and disjointed because Contra is super nervous and not really great when she doesn't have the ability to prepare ahead of time. That's not a slight on Contra, but I guess what I'm trying to point about is the fact that, like, this idea that, like, these aren't skills. Like, I'm sorry, if you watch a Vaush debate, you don't have to like Vaush. But if you don't understand the skill that goes into being able to argue against Nazis, to be able to point out their nonsense and the ways they deal with things, this is really, like, it doesn't make sense. Go stand in front of a group of 100 people and make a thing. We have 80 people viewing right now. Do you not think this has some level of skill? I'm not even doing debates. Zena doesn't do debates. We had a discussion today, and still trying to get 3 people to have, you know, a good conversation is a little bit of a juggling act. Again, this isn't about which one is better, but can I be really honest that the shots being fired seem to be almost entirely from essayists? There's nothing wrong with being an essayist. Essayists make great stuff. I love FD Signifier's video on buck breaking, as well as his one on Dave Chappelle. That was one of the most validating things I've ever watched because I thought I was right on my takes. I then got scared, and I was right. It was great. Go watch Noah's discussion with Vaush. First off, Noah sucks at public speaking, but additionally, like, Noah was basically just repeating regurgitated talking points that had no real purpose. Yeah. We listened to it, and it literally sounded like, let me, I want to spell this out for you because it's going to be absurd, but I need you to hear this because this is exactly what I think, and I posted to Twitter. The way that Noah Samson was arguing with Vaush, thank God he came around, was the same way I've seen women in my office who are in abusive relationships tell me that their husbands are going to get better. It had that same level of, no matter what data we show you, no matter how much we push the issue, guess what? No listening. None. Does that sound hyperbolic? I don't care. That's literally what it sounds like. It's that same level of utter delusion. Yeah, debate bros literally hype up essayists all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, I'm really disliking this debate bro thing. Say streamers and fucking put your back into it. The only reason debate bro works is because it's a useful derogatory that specifically makes you think of, quote unquote, the worst of the worst. What it really does is bring up people like, for some reason, Vaush, which makes sense because early Vaush was very much that format. Destiny, who's just gone insane, Hassan, for some reason, who doesn't do debates, but for some reason gets lumped into this shit, and Xander Hall, who's grown immensely. No, there was no research in that video whatsoever, Rachel. So, like, the thing here is that, like, I feel like the issue I have with these discussions is that every time we look at them, it just seems like unreasonable and irrational hate.
Yep.
Like, Vaush said something on a stream that I think is actively correct, and I need everybody here to really understand this. And it's not that I'm just trying to agree with Vaush. I disagree with Vaush on a number of things. But let me be really clear. If you think that the debate bros are a problem, you were not here in 2016. You have no room to talk. Because you don't remember when Sargon of Akkad, Thunderfoot, and all these other assholes, the people that we had to have torn down by H-Bomber guy because he was the only one that was willing to take a shot. Before people like H-Bomber guy and early ContraPoints came out, guess what? This place was run by the right. Richard Spencer, Nick Fuentes. I mean, these are people that were on this site pushing. They're the ones that, again, probably helped get Trump out. Trump voted in by the quote unquote youth vote. The problem is that you don't remember a time when this place was unsafe to be trans at all. The fact that we can exist, or Samantha Lux can exist, or Cat Black can exist, or all these people is because there are people that came before, Cat Black being one of them, actually, now that I think about it. Cat Black, ContraPoints, H-Bomber guy, who cut that swath in the space. Yeah, where is Sargon now? No one cares about Sargon. Sargon's fucking audience has been cut in half because they all saw him for what he was, a fucking misogynistic ethno-nationalist. Or Riverboat Jack, exactly. Riley Jake Dennis. There are so many people that were OGs that cut a swath into this fucking platform. And to say that, like, these debate bros are making things worse. I don't remember any of you actually arguing against Sargon. The closest was like a couple points by Contra. H-Bomber guy basically was the only person besides debaters. The fact that we can exist on here without constantly being attacked, and don't get me wrong, we still get harassment often. There's a reason why we're real kind of quiet about our actual locations and things like that, because we don't want the shit that comes that way. But the fact is that you don't know what this site was like. This place was insane. And to say that, like, these people are making this worse, I'll argue it. I'll argue your point for you, because apparently I got to do it better. There are people that do make this worse, and I've argued for their deplatforming. The person's name is Destiny.
Yeah, no, we both did that.
Yeah. But Xander Hall? Really? Xander Hall's making things worse, despite the fact that Xander Hall's gotten better and been called out on a number of things? Wasn't it a video essayist that accused Xander Hall of having a sex cult? Weird how it was the essayists that were making all these weird claims. Yeah, Sean took on a number of people. Like, how many video essayists have made, like, these, like, weird parting shots on Twitter to attack Vaush or Xander Hall or any other streamer they didn't like? It's really weird. And it feels so one-sided because, as someone said in chat earlier, like, we're not attacking these people. I pump up people all the time.
Right? Oh, no, there's other content from channels that we constantly talk about,
You bring up Dr. Z, Dr. Mama Jones. We talk about cooking.
How to ADHD, cooking shows, right? Like, there are people that do really good fucking work. Like, there is absolutely a place for that, and they do it really well.
Who are the people that we don't like? We make it really clear. Anyone that's in the right or the alt-right, not a big fan of Shoe on Head, not saying I want any problems or any harassment to come her way. I just think she's really bad at advocating for the left. I just do, and think that she often too much signals to the right because she's obsessed with populism rather than using her brain. The same is true of people like, other fake leftists like Caleb Maupin. Caleb Maupin's not a leftist. Caleb Maupin's a state puppet for RT. The issue here is that this whole divide is so nonsensical because both of these mediums have such use, such value. And you're going to tell me that, like, getting the debate bros off here will fix it? No, it's that the left is going through growing pains and trying to figure out how to own a space because let's face it, let's really face it. We didn't for a long time. How many anti-SJW videos there were? How many were made by Shu? Just saying. But how many of these were there and existed and constantly tore down any attempt at social progressivism? Do you have anything you want to add?
We're getting close to time.
Got it. So yeah, it does seem like there's something going on here that's really strange. And I'll just be really clear at this point, like for me at least, and I'll let Zena say their piece. But can Video Essayists knock it off? Like really, can you guys knock it off? We have more important shit to do.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, really? Like the constant critiquing on the left of each other. This is the new rule for our channel. This is what I've talked to Zena about. We actually just talked about this with Chariot today, and Chariot liked it. I'll give it to you. It's real simple. There's a difference between direction of values and direction difference of values versus difference of tactics. Even if we disagree on some of the specifics, we're all pushing towards trying to make things better. Do we always do well? No. But this is the reason why I say people like Luna Oy or Professor Flowers are not allies of mine. Because their values and the values they uphold do not, in any way, shape, or form, align with the world that I want. I don't want nationalism, and I certainly don't want an ethno-state. The issue being here is that, and I really have to make this abundantly clear, is that we have more important things to do. There was literally a picture I showed on Twitter today of someone in Boston holding up a sign saying, white people only have so much patience or something to that effect. Are you kidding me? And you guys want to complain about debate bros. Really? Can we deal with the Nazis? Maybe? Just saying.
Yeah, no, we've got bigger fish to fry. Like, that's the big thing here. At the end of the day, like, if you're spreading misinformation and you're posting turf shit, like, no, that's going to be way higher up on the list here. Could we spend, some time attacking that shit instead?
I mean, to me, it feels like this is a waste of time. It really is. Unless you have a substantive critique and it's not just a vague dislike, I think it's time to end this shit. Make sense?
Well, and I was going to end on, as well, the generalization of this really does end up taking us away from actually dealing with the facts and the arguments, right, that people are making. If we focus on what the fuck genre they're part of, we're not looking at the actual people making content and what kind of takes they're making. And we've gone over some really rough people so far, especially this week. So yeah, let's actually focus on the quality of the content instead, right? Anybody can have well-researched content or not well-researched content. Whether you put that out prepared or you go over it on stream, doesn't matter. That value of having good content applies either way.
Yeah, and I guess this is the final thought for me is that this is just something Ada Stardust said in chat. You do your criticisms really well. Joseph TGT, the video you did reaching out to Jesse Gender was an example. Zena was part of that video too.
I was there.
But wanting to strengthen the community as opposed to just attacking each other. Here's the thing. Again, one, Zena was in that video. But two, I want to make it abundantly clear that like that's always the intent of our channel. If we're going after the right, we're going after the right intentionally. But if we're talking about someone on the left, the goal is to make things better. Doomer Media, for example, in the recent segments we've done, I don't see as someone who's left-leaning.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so this is the thing. We need to be clear about what the intent of our critique is. Right? So we'll see you next time. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, consider donating to us. You can support us on our website, transgirltherapist.org. You can also help us on our Patreon, link below, or you can become a member here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching.